A mind-blowing 37-page document for staffers of Kyrsten Sinema has been leaked. And some of the demands in this memo are just amazing. So I'm going to share this with you. This is a piece that was broken by the Daily Beast. It's a long article. I have taken out sections to share with you and laugh along at how absurd all of this is. Now, they do give the caveat that this is likely from a couple of years ago, so it may not be up to date. That said, I don't know. That she asked for any of this at any time is insane. And she is likely, considering the kind of individual she is, the kind of senator she is, someone who does not care at all about people, clearly from her actions. I'd be surprised if much of this has changed. But let's go through this, all right? So they start with some amazing demands here. Always have a room temperature bottle of water on hand for her at all times. Make sure you get her groceries and book her a weekly hour-long massage. Those are just a few of the tasks framed in a dizzying array of do's and don'ts that have fallen to the staffers of Senator Kyrsten Sinema, according to an internal memo obtained by the Daily Beast. So I'll get to more examples here. I just got to say, I've never had a single professional massage in my life. I'm not saying this as a badge of honor. I am a moron. I should be getting a massage. But a weekly hour-long massage to spoil some of what's coming up here. This is more time than she gives to her constituents. Double the time that she gives to her constituents on a weekly basis. She gives more time to her massage than she does to speaking to constituents. Not that Sinema needs to be exposed, but it exposes her motivations here, which is really about just being pampered, getting all the luxuries that come with someone in this position. So the Senate Ethics Handbook states that the staff are compensated for the purpose of assisting senators in their official, legislative, and representational duties, and not for the purpose of performing personal or other non-official activities for themselves on behalf of others. Clearly, some of the stuff here is breaking the rules. Craig Holman, a congressional ethics expert with the nonprofit group Public Citizen, says Sinema's apparent demands that staffers conduct personal tasks amount to a clear violation of Senate ethics rules and would typically warrant a formal reprimand by the Senate Ethics Committee. You do wonder, would any of this ever even consider being investigated unless it got released publicly? Because is the committee going around and looking at each senator, each staff, or each member of Congress and what they demand of their staff? Very unlikely. So this seems more like something that has to come out publicly first for there to be any pressure to actually do an investigation. This, again, may be a couple years old, this memo here, so this likely precludes them from having to do any formal investigation, but there's no way they are proactive on this stuff, considering all of this was already in there. Now, more here. So another section laid out in detail Sinema's eating schedule. Due to her very high level of activity, so apparently a big piece of this as well is that she runs marathons. So there's a lot around her training and time allotted for training and waking up early for runs and all this stuff. So because of her very high level of activity, she is always hungry and needs to consume a lot of protein each day, it reads, specifying that she needs to eat between 12 and 12:30 p.m., 2 and 2:30 p.m., and 5 and 6:30 p.m. It states Sinema brings her own lunch and snack to work. Oh, thank heavens. But that she cannot be scheduled beyond 6:30 p.m. without staff ensuring that she has dinner. So while she brings her own lunch and snack, good on her, the staff has to make sure that they schedule dinner for her. This, I guess isn't the worst, but it does show you someone that is at the very least demanding in terms of what they expect and the level of luxury they need others to rise to in terms of trying to accommodate them. More here. Sinema does not like to fly. The memo reads, using the senator's initials, it is your job to make her as comfortable as possible on each flight. Unsurprisingly, some staffers found these instructions and Sinema's zeal in ensuring they were followed to the letter to not only be onerous, but detrimental to the overall staff's mission to serve constituents, craft policy, and communicate that work to Arizona. Quote, when I look back, it's unbelievable the amount of time staffers spent just to accommodate her, said the former aide. So this is someone that worked for her. They know what these people are like. I can't imagine Sinema is the only one like this, but it wouldn't surprise me if she is one of the worst. And according to this piece, she is one of the worst. At least from their knowledge, in terms of the sorts of demands on staffers and time that she needs for her personal time, comparing to the time that she uses for her actual job. Now, this is where we really get to, like, the worst part of it. So the document outlines that Sinema should keep all meetings with constituents in her DC office limited to a block on Wednesdays. Her former aide told the Daily Beast that Sinema would stack as many constituent meetings as possible, usually no longer than 3 minutes, into a half-hour period on Wednesdays. Again, her hour-long weekly massage, double the time that she gives to constituents, and those constituents only get 3 minutes apiece. That meant that Sinema likely spent more time during the work week in physical therapy appointments and massages than with constituents. The document also outlines that scheduling coffee meetings with lobbyists and donors are fine, and to allot those 15 to 20 minutes, a comparatively lengthy stretch of time for a senator routinely scheduled down to the second. So when it comes to donors, schedule those meetings. Those are important meetings. My constituents, 3 minutes in a half-hour block weekly. Jesus. This really goes to the heart of how people in positions of power, especially those on the national level in Congress, largely, again, not all of them, of course, but largely just are completely disconnected from reality. And you wonder why nothing gets done. Because they are simply there to serve the money, the corporate money that got them into those positions, to ensure they keep those positions in the future in their next election. They keep winning and winning and winning because they keep raising enough money to win those elections. That money comes from these donors that they serve. The constituents are just, I imagine these meetings that she has with constituents are really just there as a way to first pretend she gives a shit. Like she can say, I talk with my constituents every week. So, she can claim she does. While at the same time, maybe, picking up on things here and there to latch onto when it comes to releasing statements about certain issues and pretending she gives a shit about those issues. But in reality, behind the scenes, you can see what she actually cares about. So there's more about, fundraising and the time she uses for that as well. Of course, a lot more in terms of fundraising, time spent doing that than spent with constituents. And to give her credit here, look, I'm fair. I'm going to give her credit. I could have not shown this at all, but I will. In at least one small respect, however, staffing Sinema isn't so intense. Call her senator when referring her to a third party, but when speaking with her directly, call her Kyrsten. So you can call her by her first name if you work for her. Oh, she's so kind. I don't even know what to say. These people are ridiculous. Again, this speaks to a larger issue with the Senate and with members of Congress, and it does necessarily to Kyrsten Sinema, but it does give you a window into how these people live and why they are so damn disconnected.